Hey everyone, this is Paul. Welcome to Intro to DJing, and in this video what I'm going to do is talk about speaker cables or speaker wire, and this is for translating a speaker level signal, not a line level signal, but a speaker level signal from an amplifier to a passive speaker. So if you're using active speaker, you don't really need to watch this video because you probably don't need to understand these things too much, but it may still be helpful to understand the differences between some of the types of cables that you see. This often also shows up when it comes to home stereo. So the main types of speakers, and I'm only going to be showing you pictures here, not in person, because I don't actually have any passive speakers that I can show you examples of for these. So the first is just bare wire. It's just pure copper, and you see two because you need to deliver, once again, your sort of in and your out, or your reference voltage and your other type of voltage. Now this is bare wire. This is living on the edge, often with no insulation. This is not recommended. You'll want at least some insulation, but in some cases this is what you need, or this is what you'll see inside of your speaker once it has the connector and to go directly to the driver itself. So this is just bare wire, not really recommended. The next you'll often see is what's called a banana plug. It's similar to RCA, but it is not. I don't know why it's called banana. I guess it kind of supposed to look a little bit like a banana. And this is very similar to RCA type of cables, and this is often found in home theater systems. You often don't see this in pro audio, but this is what you will see. The next is spade cable, and this is very similar to the grounding plug that you'll often see on turntables. The way it works is it has this little spade, and on your amplifier, on your speaker, you can unscrew it, put the spade in, and then you'll basically screw in the little thing that'll basically cause it to lock into place and make connection to the conductor there. So that's spade cable. Now getting on to what you'll most often see when it comes to these types of speakers, the next is when it comes to like DJ type of speakers, like big loudspeakers, you have 1/4-inch TS speaker cable. Now you want to be careful to differentiate between speaker cable and TS, like an audio cable like this. It's still the tip sleeve, it's still a 1/4-inch connector. It's just the jacket is different. Often you can tell it's speaker cable because the jacket will be pretty thick, but don't mix up your TS speaker cable from your TS audio cable. They're different type of cables. You don't want to be interchanging them, and you certainly don't want to be using a 1/4-inch TS audio cable in place of a speaker cable. We'll talk about that in a second. And then lastly, what I think is the best to use is SpeakOn cable. SpeakOn we often call like speaker connection. That's the con part. And what you do is you twist and lock it into place. And when you want to unlock it, you pull that tab there and twist it, and it just comes right out. So that's nice, right? It makes a locking connection to the speaker, and this is what we often use in production and stuff if we can. You'll often see different variants like NL4. One of the great things is you can actually run multiple signals along the same SpeakOn wire. So that's what NL4 is really nice for. You can actually send separate signal to your subs and your tops with the same cable and just use a jumper to get to the tops, or you can of course wire things up a little bit more complicated. So this is a whole other can of worms, so I'm just trying to give you the introduction here. Once again, I think when it comes to pro audio, it's best to use SpeakOn connectors and using just something like NL4 or something like that for delivering the signal. The one thing, once again, I want to say is using 1/4-inch instrument cable or audio cable instead of 1/4-inch TS speaker cable can be problematic because instrument cables is shielded, and the reason for this is the shielding in the jacket can actually melt if you're running a speaker level signal with instrument or audio line level signals. So to keep from messing it up, for the main reason I recommend SpeakOn is mainly because then if you're always using SpeakOn, then you never have to worry about possibly mixing up your 1/4-inch speaker cable with your 1/4-inch audio cable. But if you have to do it, just be sure to label them or have some way of determining the difference. You don't want to have stuff melting. You don't want to have any other sorts of problems like this. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you found this helpful. In the next video, we'll talk about audio cables.